Hello and welcome back to the channel. Chelsea are playing West Ham this Sunday, and what I thought I'd do in this video is do a bit of a tactical review. Let's look at West Ham, let's see what their strengths and weaknesses are, let's see how they're going to set up, and talk about how we can really target them and how we can maximise this game to make sure that we get a big win for Chelsea. So let's get right into it. I've done my research on West Ham. Can't say that I love watching West Ham week in, week out. You know, I'm not going to promise that, but what I've done is look at their tactical system. I looked at how they played last week, and I'm also looking at some of their signings they've made, and it's going to be an interesting one. Let's see how many of those new signings end up making it into the starting 11 against Chelsea. So how are they going to set up? I think they're going to play in a 4-2-3-1 formation. I've got the team sheet down here, right? I think they're going to start with Areola in goal. I think Emerson's going to be on the left. Aguerd is going to be at left centre-back because they haven't signed Harry Maguire in time. Kurt Zouma on the right. Again, connections to Chelsea, right? Emerson's played for us. We know what he does, what his qualities are. Zouma's played for us. Again, we know his physicality, his strength. We know what type of player he is, right? And then Kufau on the right. It seems like their only real option at right back in terms of starting right now. And so the centre of midfield is going to be interesting, right? Is it going to be Alvarez and James Ward-Prowse coming straight in? Obviously, that's a brand new midfield for them. They have no experience in playing together. And do you want to risk that playing against Chelsea? Well, I'm not quite sure, but I'm putting them in right now. Then in front of them, I've got Fornals, but it could quite easily be Paqueta. Then I've got Ben Rama on the left. I've got Bowen on the right. And then you've got Antonio up front. Those three pick themselves. Those are their three best options for West Ham. So what can we expect from them? I think it's going to be quite tight, right? And they're going to play quite narrow. Their formation, the 4-2-3-1, is quite easily lended to a lower block. I can't see them being very expansive. I can't see them pushing up high up the pitch because they know that we've got the pace in our front three to get in and behind them. So I could see them being very narrow, very tight, and very physical with the way that they're dealing with our younger players. Moyes is going to set up that team and they're going to go for us from the first whistle. It's always like that when you go to West Ham and the London Stadium. You know it's going to be tough. And I saw a stat the other day, by the way. We've only won once in our last 6 visits to the London Stadium. So our record there isn't very good. But look, I'm not a big believer in records and how well teams do in the past. It's all about the present. Obviously, we've got a brand new team, a completely new setup, new manager, everything, right? So to judge what's gone on in the past at London Stadium, I don't think is fair. And I think we've got a much better chance this time round. And look, that team is not an easy team to beat. And maybe I've been a bit harsh with them at the moment. I've said that they're going to finish around like, what, 15th, 14th, 13th, maybe is their top end. And maybe we've been a bit harsh, right? European football obviously is a factor that we're all judging them on. And we don't quite know how the squad's going to bed in after losing players like Rice, right? But they've replaced him with 2 centre mids. Now, they probably aren't the quality of Rice, but they're still going to come in and replace him to some degree. So now we've seen how West Ham set up. What I want to do now is have a think about how Poch could counter the West Ham strengths with his lineup. And we're going to have a quick look at what I think Poch is going to do in this game. Now, Poch had a massive curveball for us in the first game and did a tactical innovation that we didn't think he was going to. He played what I saw as a back 5, right? Obviously, you had Reece James and Chilwell on the wings, and you had the Sassy, Silva and Colwill playing through the middle. Now, he came out after the game and said that that was actually a back 4 and Chilwell was a winger. I'm not believing that, really. And, you know, in different phases of the game, it will look different, right? But I could see us again in this one shaping up in a slightly different way. And so I'm going for a 4-3-3 in this match. And I've potentially got some surprises, right? So let's look at the team sheet that I think Poch is going to use. It wouldn't be necessarily the team that I'd go for, but I think this is the one that Poch is going to go for. So I've got Sanchez in goal. I've got Disasi as a right back. Now, go with me on this. We've obviously got Malo Gusto that could come in. Reece James isn't going to play, and he isn't probably going to play for a few weeks. And so there's reason behind this, and I'll explain that in a second. Then I think Thiago Silva is going to be the right centre-back. Colwill is going to be the left centre-back, with Chilwell as the left-back. Caicedo, for me, comes straight in. Enzo is going to play alongside him. And then the other player in the middle of midfield, if he's still there, which I think he still will be by the time this game's played, and I think he will be there by the end of the summer as well, is Conor Gallagher. Then I'm going to go with Mudryk on the right, Sterling on the left, and then Jackson through the middle. So you might be thinking, why the hell have I not played Malo Gusto when we know that he's been brought in as the direct replacement for Reece James when he gets injured? Well, I think it's because we're going to move this week to a more conventional back 4 than what we saw last time, because we don't necessarily have the pressure of the wingers that are coming through down the wings in Liverpool. We know that that's probably one of their biggest strengths, Liverpool. both from a front three perspective, but then also from the back four perspective with Trent and Robertson. Both of them are very capable from the wings. And so they are very potent. Whereas West Ham don't necessarily have the same potency. No offence to them, but again, they're not, Liverpool in terms of their pace and their ability to score goals from that wide area. So what I think Poch is going to do is going to play Disasi as a right back, but really what the formation is going to be, and we'll see it now, I'll show it on screen in a little graphic, really it's going to form a back three with Disasi being the right centre back, Thiago Silva being in the middle, and Colwill is going to be that left centre back, with Chilwell having the ability to bomb on. Now we saw this in pre-season. Gusto was the guy that would come in and form an effective back three when Chilwell bombed on, and that's what's going to, I think, happen in this game. And Disasi is maybe slightly more suited to that role as opposed to Gusto, who's more of a conventional wing back, right? So that's the back four. Then now let's talk about some areas that I think we're going to look to exploit. And the first area, I've mentioned it with Chilwell there, I think is going to be the left-hand side. Now, there's a big corridor there that I think we can exploit. And I think Poch is going to do that by getting Chilwell to bomb on as far as he physically can, hugging the wing, but also trying to get, in the penalty area and make difference in the penalty area. And we saw that Chilwell can do that and score goals in pre-season. And I think he's going to do that very effectively in this game. What I think that also then means is that we're going to have to pair a winger on the left-hand side that is more of an inverted winger that can cut inside and actually support Jackson, maybe as almost like a second striker, especially if we've got that midfield three as opposed to a number 10, which Poch has been favouring over the summer, but I don't think is going to play in this game. So the player that I've got there is Sterling, because obviously Sterling, can play in that role. He's played on the right, he's played on the left, he's played as a centre attacking mid in the past. And because of his quick feet and because of his experience against Premier League teams, I think he's going to end up being like that inverted winger and sit just behind Jackson. And what that then means is there's overloads on the left-hand side, and I think we're going to see a lot of joy from that. I could see a Chilwell goal, I could also see a Sterling goal with the decoy overlap that Chilwell will bring. And so I think the left-hand side, with players like Enzo drifting over there as well, will be one of our key areas. And even players like Colwill, he'll be pinging balls over the top and he'll actually get space as well because the other players are so high up. So watch the left hand side in this game. I can see that being quite key. And then the next thing I want to talk about is our brand new weapon. He's going to come straight in for me, Caicedo. He's going to fill in that sort of like Makelele role, but I can also see him drifting over to the right-hand side, especially if Disasi is tucking in, and effectively filling in that sort of like right-back, half-back area. And I think he is very much going to be the destroyer in this game. He's going to be winning the ball, and he's going to be giving it to players like Enzo and Gallagher, which can both either pass the ball forward or dribble the ball forward and use verticality in the sense of bringing the ball out of the defence. And I think both Gallagher and Enzo are going to be key to us winning this game in the way that they do complete those passes or complete those runs. If they're successful, I think we will be successful. And we know both those guys are incredibly energetic and they want to bomb on and get forward and get in the box, especially with Enzo's new role and with Caicedo in behind him, he's going to be unlocked. So I could see one of those guys getting a goal. So I'll do my full score prediction in a second, but, maybe one of those guys are going to be one of the goal scorers for me. And then we've talked about it in terms of like running the ball out there, but then let's also talk about verticality in terms of the passing. We know that Jackson and Mudryk have got insane pace. And so what I could see a lot of this game being is vertical balls over the top or through the lines and getting those boys using their pace. And that's why I reckon that Poch is going to go for Mudryk on the left-hand side here. And that's why I think that Jackson starts. What a surprise, the best number 9 that we have. Bro is still injured. Jackson is going to get in the team. And so keep an eye on that as well in this game. Those vertical passes, those balls through the lines. I think that's how we're going to get a lot of joy. So look, I've been quite positive there, haven't I? But I'm feeling very positive about this game, to be honest. In terms of my prediction, I'm going to go, and I'm going to stick with what I said on Joey's show. I'm going to go with 3-0. I reckon Chilwell's going to bag a goal. I reckon Enzo's going to bag a goal as well in this. And I reckon Jackson is going to get the final goal as well. So those three are going to be the scorers. 3 different scorers. They're going to get confidence. We're going to build some momentum for this game. And I'm really excited for this game. Can you tell, right? Let me know your score predictions in the comments below. I'm buzzing for this game. I'm buzzing to be back for the season. And what I want to tell you guys about as well is make sure you watch me on the kickoff this Saturday. I'm going to be featuring, we're going to be watching the Man City versus Newcastle game at 7:30 UK time on the Kickoff channel. Come and join us, join in on the chat. Let me know that you've come over from my video. That would mean the world to see some of you guys in there. And thanks so much for watching. To get 1,000 of you on this channel so far, it's been absolutely immense. The positivity around the comments that we've had for Joey's show and for me being on there is just unbelievable. And honestly, I'm so grateful. Thank you for the bottom of my heart for joining the channel. and joining this community. And there's going to be loads more. I'm going to be filming again with Joey next week, so there's going to be a lot more content. So make sure you subscribe to him if you haven't already. Make sure you sub to this channel. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching, and come on, Chelsea.